What's up, YouTube? Back with my next painting video, and this time I'm gonna have fun with a Reaper Bones Griffin. So this is gonna be an interesting one. I've already primed it white. I don't normally go straight white. Normally I might do black with pre-shading with white, but I wanted to try something different with this guy, and it's kind of because of what colors I'm going with. So, already tested all the colors, make sure we're good to go there. So let's go ahead and get the camera adjusted to a good angle for y'all to see the painting, and let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start with like the skin area. Ooh, easy there. With like the skin area on it. And I'm going to use this orange brown. And then for the feathers, I've got a red brick. And then I've got a series of colors for like highlights and whatnot. But that's kind of what I'm going to start with for just basing this guy out. So trying out another one of the new brushes. So we're going to try the dagger striper this time. For just seeing how well it applies these sort of things. And once again, I'm working with the wet palette right now to try to be able to control the consistency a bit better of the paints. Okay, I can definitely see I'm going to have some issues with this brush for this here, so I'm seeing some good uses for this brush, but it is not going to be helpful for this. But brushes that I'm new to, so I'm going to have to test them and get a feel for them. So let's go with the flat. Let's see, what size are you? That's the size 1, that's the 0, yeah. Let's go with the 1 flat. There we go, that's applying a bit better. So this is another one of those minis that, because of the nature of the detail on it, it's going to be a good one to do some work with dry brushing. Now tonight is not my normal painting night, so this video here is going to be a bonus on top of the intended painting video for the week. As well, they have a little just sit and paint event at my local game store later today, so we'll be I have a little video of how that turned out as well. That is leaving some detail behind, easily filled in. So one thing I've seen with a lot of Griffins is they go for kind of for the bird side of it, a bald eagle sort of look. And I think that's cool, but that's not quite. Let's adjust this a bit more. There we go. Now I'm in a more comfortable spot and y'all can see that good too. But I'm going for something a little bit different than that. Kind of similar in colors, but rather than going with some straight white feathers, I'm going to be going for this kind of brown feather that's been dry brushed up with grays and maybe a bit of white in there. So that should give it still kind of that eagle look, but not so much a bald eagle, more like a, I think it's called brown eagle, not entirely certain. So it's going to take me a while to fill in this base coat, so we'll come back when I get to doing the next base coat, which is going to be the red brick. I'm just going to go ahead and finish filling this in, and I'll be back. What's up, YouTube? I'm back. So now we've got this red brick color, and we are going to start painting in the base coat on the feathers. Now I know normally I would go ahead and start detailing the next color before I got into doing the base coats, but I'm intending to do like a brown wash over the whole figure. Now this red brick here is interesting because it's got kind of a purplish color to it. But I'm going to be bringing that back to more of a base brown with the rest of the stuff I'm doing. So it works for what I'm doing at the moment. And you'll see kind of how thin this is going up here. This is what I was talking about in previous about being able to thin it down to almost a glaze consistency. Because for this right here, that's doing kind of glazes is kind of what I need. Because I want all this detail that is sculpted into these feathers to really pop when I'm done. Now also this little fluff on the tail, I'm going to be doing that with this as well. And I got my next color already lined up, and that's going to be the one that I'm doing kind of these clawish feet and the beak out of. So this right here is going to take me a while, but you can kind of see what I'm doing. So I'll be back with a full finished of this base coat and then let y'all see the next. What's up YouTube, I'm back. So after multiple layers of that red brick, you see it gives a nice dark deep purple color. I think it has more red if it's done over a black base coat, but with the white that is definitely a nice purple. So this green ochre now is how we're going to do our beak and talons. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this up, and then after I do that, we'll get on to the wash I was talking about. I'm not really worried about getting it on the claws themselves, because I'm just going to paint over this base coat. When I go to do that, and I'm wanting a little bit of a brown color to the claws when I do them. I'm also waiting for a couple spaces of this base of the red brick to dry completely, because I do want to put a little bit more in a few spots that I feel like I didn't get good enough coverage on before I go on to doing the wash. see some spots I got kind of a bit heavy. The other paints, but I can kind of cover them up and get the coverage that I want here. So as you can see, that's getting a nice color to it. I'm also not worried about getting it on the tongue itself either, because I'll be able to paint over that. Now that I hold it at this angle, I see a few spots that could definitely use some extra hits on the red brick. So while I wait for that first layer to dry on the green ochre, I'll go ahead and go in and kind of just clean this up. Make sure I got everything nice and good. So even though this sculpt has not a lot of nice, good detail, it does leave a lot of places that the paint can miss. And I don't want to have anywhere where I can see that white underneath. Okay. That's about as good as it's going to get. So let's make sure we got our coverage nice and good on these claws and on this beak. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and go in here and paint the talons over here with this too. We'll build up from this green ochre on all the talons. Now I'll keep us nice and uniform. Everywhere on the mini. A little bit extra right here. Okay. So that is our Griffin as of right now. I'm going to go ahead and get set up for painting on this wash. And for the wash, we do not want to use our wet palette. So I'll be back once I'm set up. Okay, I'm back. Now to get the color that I wanted. My brown wash has separated too much, so I'm not going to be able to really use that to effectiveness. So what I've done is I have mixed intense brown with flesh wash. I'm just going to paint this over and let it go into the recesses. And if I want to bring the color back up, I can dry brush the original color back over, which I will probably do for the wings here. But my hope is that this, using this brown wash, I'll be able to blend in all these colors really well together. I'm kind of just using this wash to get pretty much all my shading is the intention. Oh, didn't realize I was out of the shot. So this brown wash is very strong coloring to the wings, but when I'm done, all it's going to do is add to those deep recess colors. I won't do anything to what you can see on top. You know what? Let's go to a bigger brush for this. I'm just trying to get this nice and everywhere. And like I said, we're going to bring these colors back up with dry brushing the base color. This is just to get it really dark in the worst of the recesses. And I want it to have that nice brown tint to it. Okay, I'm gonna have to mix up a bit more of this. So just a little bit. Incense brown. Okay, so as y'all can see, it's pretty uniformly muddy. I want to come in, get all the paint out of my brush. And I want it to be just clean water in the brush, and that's it. And this is going to let it be, get it to that consistency that I wanted. So it's just going to pull into those recesses, and give them all nice, good shadows. So that did go on a little thick, but we'll be able to and so that it doesn't gunk up any of my details. We'll be going in with paper towel to pat everything dry. Okay. So let's get the paper towels. Let's pat this dry, and then we'll get set up for the next set, which is going to be starting to dry brush in our details. And like I said, anywhere where we've got color too heavy on this wash, whoa, that's what I wanted. We'll be able to dry brush those details up with the base colors. So I'll be back, YouTube. Okay, I'm back. So now we're going to go in and we're going to do our dry brushing. Try to bring back up our base fully. And we're just trying to keep those nice browns in the recesses. But you kind of see what I'm doing here, YouTube. So I'm going to go ahead and do this everywhere, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, YouTube. So now that we have brought back up our colors, it's time to start actually going in with our actual highlights. So, on our red brick color, I am starting with a rainy gray. And when I finish getting all of my highlights over this with all the colors I'm intending to tone down these grays with a a glaze of the initial base color. And that will bring, with these being very bluish grays, that'll let the reds and the browns kind of pop and blend in. And I'm intending to do a final highlight with Misty Grey after I do these rainy gray highlights. And the purpose of doing the dry brushing like this is just getting the topmost parts of the detail. It's not getting any of this paint down in the recesses. So I can sit here and add color and build up detail without affecting some of the work I've already done. Let's get a little more. Let's build up out here. Might need a little more of this color than what I poured. think that's good. So now we're just going to go ahead and hit that up with some highlights in the Misty Grey. And then after that, I'll be able to bring all that color together with a single glaze of the red brick. Ooh, easy there. Hey, Chewy. Yeah, puppy dog's trying to get in on the video. So the purpose of this highlight here is to get the highest points of detail. Okay, I think that's good and everywhere. So now I will go ahead and set back up to do one more layer of glaze over all that and let y'all see that. Okay, we're back with the wet palette back out, and I'm going to drag this through again get a nice good amount of water in it, and we're just going to lightly paint it on. And this glaze is just going to blend in all those colors. And then anywhere that I want to fully pop, I can come back in with one last dry brush with those grays and really bring it to a full pop. This is just blending all this color in together. It's a lot of build up and a lot of steps. Josh, you're starting to see how the detail, oh, it is not in. Okay, there we go. How the detail is really popping out and like starting to really be able to see the individual feathers. And the goal here is just, I still want these blue-gray tips. So that's what that final dry brush will be for. This will get all that initial work to blend in and make everything look nice and uniform. It's okay, Chewbacca. So that has blended everything in for the most part. Just got a few more places to hit over here. And then we will hit it up with a final dry brush. And that will be the feathers completed. I get set back up for the dry brush. Let's let the little puppy get the attention he wants. That, YouTube, is Chewbacca, the attention hog of the family. So, we'll be back, YouTube. Okay, we're back for final dry brushing on the wings. And once again, we've got the rainy gray and the misty gray. That seems to be a bit too much. Okay, I'm gonna have to work that out. Okay. Good thing is we've still got some wash in here. Not wash. Keep saying wash when it's a glaze. I'll let that dry. And I'm going to definitely need another paper towel. So while we let that dry, we'll just work a different area. As you can see, I'm only going in one direction with this because I just want the highest tips for this. Because of all those other steps, you're not getting straight gray. You're getting this nice blend. And everything is popping out. I do not have enough in my palette. Now this technique here, you can do this with any real combination of colors that you want. I love doing it with the browns and the grays personally. Like purple with blue gray gives you a lot of pop. And that's why I love this Misty Grey here. Because it is enough of an off-white that it will make all these colors pop. And there is our wings. I think I'll hit up this area a little bit more. But all in all, I've gotten the effect that I desired. It just took a lot of build-up. Okay, so now I'm going to do my dry brushing of details with this burnt orange over the original orange brown. And I have you were unclogged earlier, now you're not. I also have a Buckskin Pale for doing the claws for their detail. But pretty much everything is going to be, what did I do with my piece for unclogging? Okay, I'll be back. YouTube, I gotta find what I did with my unclogger. Okay, YouTube, I am back. And we have our new paint out. So once again, this is a burnt orange. I'm about to dry brush over our orange brown. that tail. This is one of the nicer things about these particular resin models, is they will bend when pressure is applied to them, which is both a good and a bad thing. But like right now, I'm using it to my benefit. So now, as you can see, we've got these deeper, darker brown oranges in the recesses. And this really gives it that nice, like, lion color to it. Now, time to work on those claws and beak. So this, we've got the Buckskin Pale. Which really make that color pop. Get those claws good. There we go. That's got a nice color to it. So now I'm going to go in with a final bright highlight. I'm going to mix this to that Buckskin Pale. This is a very creamy white color. I don't know the exact name of it that I'm using. Also going to put some to the side for doing the eyes. Or anywhere where I really need to brighten this up crazy bright, like the very tips of the talons. There we go, like that. So let's take and do this final dry brush. Like I said, this will be the very tips. And there we go. And now we are done with our dry brush, and now we are going to go in there with We're gonna go with the round brush for doing this. So wet my brush and we're just going to go in here. Paint in the eyeball. So there, we've painted in the eyes. So now I have to double check my source material for this. But if I'm remembering correctly, a bird eye / cat eye has kind of that strip for the pupil instead of a dot. So we're going to look at that so we can move on to doing the iris and pupil, but we've got a nice marine teal for the iris. And then I've got up here somewhere my pure black for the pupil. Okay, I'm back. So upon looking at it, it is the cat's eye that's got the stripe I was thinking of. Bird's eye tends to be completely the color of the iris. So because I'm wanting this one looking straight ahead, it's a little more difficult to do the iris, and I'm definitely going to have to go back and do some cleanup work with the white. You can see it's staring straight ahead now, and now I have to let that dry, but once that dries, I'll do a nice slit with the black. I'm just blowing on it to get it so. I have to clean up a little bit with the blue to fully get the effect that I want. And then to clean up with the white. There we go. So that is that. So now I need to get paints on this decorative work down here. So let's set up for that. Lost it for a second there. So we're just, like I said, we're just going to go in, continue painting the dirt and stone and whatnot, and just shift this around as much as you need to. So I'm going to go ahead and get this nice and solid color, and then when I come back we'll be doing some dry brushing with the brown sand and the basic dirt to make the rest of this pop. The muddy soil here, that is going to be our base color, and I kind of like using this color as a base color for stuff like this because it makes it look very, very natural, especially when I go to do the stuff that y'all are going to see later. Okay, peace out. Okay, I am back. I have fully painted in my muddy soil. So now with my basic dirt, I'm just going to dry brush some extra color in there. And this is going to give it that natural shifts in the browns that you kind of expect when you look at things out and about. Like next time you're outside, just take a look at the dirt and you will see some mixtures in the browns. That's what I like that these do. And I want to get a little, make sure I get this nice and good on these stones, because I'm really going to bring up the color in the stones more than anything else. In fact, the stones I'm intending to give them a final dry brush with the Misty Grey to really make them pop. Since stones tend to have kind of a white sheen to them. Yeah, I think that's as much color as I want to get with the basic dirt. So now we'll set up for a highlight with the brown sand. And then after we do that, I'll be able to do my final highlights on the stones, and then I'll be ready to put this guy on a base. And after I have him on the base, I am going to show y'all how I do one of my final pieces of detail work when I want to add just that little bit of something else to a mini. So that's enough of that. Looks like I've still got a little bit of the Misty Grey. Where I can, nah, not enough. Get over here though. So a little more Misty Grey up here. And we'll brighten these stones out with that. And that'll give us the last of our color on the mini. So I'm just going to kind of fill back in the actual dirt area with some of the original colors. So that gray is only on the stone. And that'll give the stone what it needs to pop out and stand out from the dirt. There we go. So I am going to first go ahead and put down some sealer on this, and then I will grab my base, get my base ready, get some base color with this, some of these dirt colors on the base, and we will be good to go. Be right back, YouTube. What's up, YouTube? Back here. So while I was sealing the mini, I noticed I didn't do something with the paint job. I have not painted our tongue yet.